I sit before you a sad Packer fan. Due to the results of today's trade deadline, I thought it would be interesting to have myself sat on the ground this time rather than be all up and around and doing my stuff because I'm sad because the Packers are a little stupid and at least a little stupid. We're at least a little dumb right now. Because it's the trade deadline. It was the trade deadline today. And I'm going to go over what was traded. I don't have all the all the compensations here. But I can tell you everybody who got traded and where they went from, where they went to. This is just the NFL thing. You can find it. Interesting thing is there was the most active trade deadline ever. Which is interesting. Which I was at work at the entirety of that. I'm very sorry. I was on my phone all day. All day. At work. My dad's my boss at work. And I was on my phone constantly today, refreshing Twitter, checking. See if the Packers did anything, and they didn't. Nope. Got a hair in my mouth. So, the Broncos traded Bradley Chubb to the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins used at least a first. I think it was a first, a third, and a fourth. Or no, it was like a first, a third, and Chase Edmonds for Bradley Chubb and a fourth, I think it was. Seemed like a good deal, at least for Miami. I don't understand what the hell Denver's doing, but whatever. The Steelers traded Chase Claypool to the Bears for their second-round pick. The Lions traded TJ Hawkinson to the Vikings for... I think they sent TJ a fourth and a conditional fourth for a second and a third. And then Calvin Ridley went from the Falcons to the Jags for like a fifth and like a super conditionalized fourth or some shit. In that trade, they got Chase Edmonds. The Niners traded Jeff Wilson Jr. to the Dolphins for a fifth-round pick. The Colts sent Nyheim Hines to the Bills for Zach Moss and a conditional sixth. I don't know. Jets traded Jacob Martin to the Broncos. I'm very sorry, Jacob Martin. I don't know who you are. The Chiefs sent Rashad Fenton to the Falcons. I'm sorry, Rashad Fenton. I don't know who you are. The Falcons sent Dean Marlowe to the Bills. I'm sorry, Dean Marlowe. I don't know who you are. And the Commanders sent William Jackson III to the Steelers. I do know William Jackson III. So that was the trade deadline action today. There are cats clawing at my door. Give me a sec. They're done now. The Packers, I'm so sorry. People who are watching this, and maybe you don't know me. And by you don't know me, I mean you're not my parents. My parents watch these videos. So you probably don't know me. I'm just like a random dude. And I'm a dude who's going to talk about the Packers quite a lot. Because that's what I like talking about. And if I can talk about what I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. So I'm talking about the Packers. And the Packers did nothing, which is, not surprising. The Packer fans aren't surprised that we did nothing. We just are sad about it. Because we're all in right now. We've been all in for a while, because, we gave Rodgers a bunch of money. We've been kicking the can down the line for years and years, and which was going to be fine because a lot of teams have been doing it, but it was going to be fine. But then COVID happened, and then rather than the salary cap going up where we thought it was going to go, it went down. So everything became really, really difficult. But it's not going well right now. So obviously, this Packers have a lot of problems. They're well documented at this point. We have our receivers aren't doing anything. Our offensive line's pretty poor right now. Our Panthers isn't doing a whole lot. Actually not entirely true. But because it's Rashawn Gary and Kenny Clark pretty much. Our secondary's not great. Our linebackers outside of Devondre Campbell aren't doing great. Special teams is still lackluster. And a lot of those problems are here. And I watch some stuff. A guy I watch a lot. If you are watching this, you probably know who Tom Brossi is. Um, he makes a lot of great stuff, and I think he made a fair point on like what or actually I don't know if it was a fair point. He was talking about what what people wanted the Packers to do because everyone just wanted something, just some thing, anything. And I am not gonna lie, I'm part of that group because I wanted us to do something. I wanted us to make a move because what's happening right now isn't working. Our 3-5 start is due to a lot of things. Again, like as everything I said before, also Rodgers isn't playing super great, but we're not making a quarterback change, and we all know that. But we could have made a receiver change, a secondary change, or a special teams change, a linebacker change, an offensive line change. Any of those things could have happened. But, I'm not talking about quarterback. But, Rodgers could be playing a little bit better and all those other things are happening. So, fixing one of those things isn't fixing the team, right? But right now, and that's a fair point, that fixing one of those isn't fixing the team. But I think the problem right now is that rather than going, I'm going to use the example of Chase Claypool purely because he was traded. I didn't really want Chase Claypool. We offered a second. That seemed like it was a dumb idea. But whatever. Chase Claypool helps that receiving core. He just helps it. Does it fix it? Probably not. I think a full receiving core with Chase Claypool in it, I think is better. But I don't think he fixes it. I think that it requires Rodgers to be doing a little bit, just a hair better, and I think it requires us to get kind of healthy right now because we're not doing great. Because currently 3 of our top 5 receivers are all out. And we're kind of left with Dobbs and Sammy Watkins, which I like both of them, but they ain't the guy. That's really bad. So Claypool does not fix it, but he helps it. And I think that I would have liked to see us try to help it. Because we didn't help anything. We let everything be. Because I think because the hope is that some of these things will come along, right? Like the receiving core, I think can come along. The offensive line can come along. All of these things can come along because last year we were honestly quite strong in a lot of these areas. In the past few years, we've had a fantastic offensive line. We have 2 All-Pro linemen right now, along with a center who's pretty solid and some other guys who aren't that bad. Do I think they can come together and put up with a larger sample size, like a top 10 O-line? Yeah, I do. I think we can do that. I just think that it has to come together. And I think that our receiving core isn't as bad as it is right now. I think that we can't do a whole lot. I think the ceiling is lower than the rest of them. But we have good linebackers too. Our Devondre Campbell is really good. We got a lot of rookies, have a lot of talent there, and a lot of them can a lot of it is it's a switch. It's in everything, in every context. There's always putting in work to do something. There's always at some point a switch that gets flipped. That it doesn't fix everything, but everything makes sense. And you know what to do. And you can't always do those things, but you know what to do. And that secondary is, on paper, amazing, right? At least at a top level. Jair is not as great this year, but in the past has been an all-pro guy. Amos has been great in the past, but not great this year. Savage has a lot of talent. Russell Douglas was an all-pro level guy last year even. I'm pretty sure he got some all-pro votes. I'm not sure, but I think he did. Eric Stokes is a young rookie not a rookie, he was last year. He's a really good rookie last year. He played really well. Those things are better. And then in special teams, we have Rick Bisaccia, who is a great special teams coach. I'm really happy we have him. But and his coaching, I think, can help that special teams. But I think that we're banking on all of those things coming along, which I don't think it will. So at the end of the day, we are currently, regardless of our 3-5 record, we are a win-now team. This team, will go through major changes, primarily us losing Aaron Rodgers. and we will be a losing team. We will go from where we are right now, which is hoping that we're going to win, to hoping our guys progress. Because right now, we're not hoping our guys will progress. We're hoping that they can contribute to winning right now. And I think that we did nothing to help that, which I think is a problem. And a lot of people are like, what would we have actually done? Who do we get? A thing that I think that happens that fans kind of is difficult to grasp as fans, is that we don't know what was the asking price for DJ Moore. Was it a first round pick? Was that it? Or was it a first round pick? Was that all they wanted? Did they want more? Was it a second round pick? Probably not. Chase Claypool went for a second round pick. Do I send a second round pick for DJ Moore? I think he's like 25, right? I'm pretty sure he's 25. Let me double check that. DJ Moore on Google. DJ Moore. I think he's 25. He's 25. I give a first for DJ Moore. He is 25 years old, contributing to football right now, and will be, barring injury and significant regression, for the next 5 years. He's worth the first round pick rather than the gamble of spending it on somebody else. I give a first for DJ Moore. Is he expensive? Maybe, but we're going to lose a lot of that expense pretty fucking quickly once $50 million is off the books in a year or two. I think that maybe Brandon... I don't know if Brandon Cooks is the move. Brandon Cooks is really expensive for what he provides right now. Again, I don't think I wasn't entirely in on Chase Claypool, but... I mean, let's look at shit actually that happened today that I would have done a million times over, and I would have gotten Nyheim Hines. I am, along with being a Packers fan, my number 2 is a Colts fan because I live in Indianapolis. So I watch Nyheim Hines all the time. He is great. He is he's not like a fantastic player. He's never going to make a Pro Bowl, or at least not at like running back. But like if let's say instead of Zach Moss, we give up like a fourth. Let's call it a fourth round pick. I give a fourth round pick for Nyheim Hines. He is a great punt returner, a great change of pace back. He is a solid receiver, and I think that I definitely give a fourth for him. And we didn't do it. And if we get a fourth for him, then we can stop forcing Amari Rodgers to return punts because he can't do it. Like, if he can't do it, it's fine. Stop making him. He can't do it. Let him be a receiver. Fuck the special teams reps, dude. Let him get reps with the offense. Like, don't force him to do this shit that he just can't do. It's okay. If we get Nyheim Hines, he can pick up a couple or like occasional kind of plays. He can pick up occasional plays at running back because a lot of times Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon will be having a bad game, and just slide in Nyheim Hines. Just take him. Put him in there. He'll do something. He's a good receiver. He's not bad. Toss him in the slot right now, especially Amari Rodgers. Because honestly, I don't see a lot of the future in Amari Rodgers if I'm being real. But, he would have been great. I would have loved Nyheim Hines on this team. But no, he went to Buffalo. Which, good for Buffalo. That's a great pickup for y'all. Would have liked him here in Green Bay, not in Indianapolis. And it just feels weird. It just feels weird. I didn't expect us to go get Bradley Chubb, because Bradley Chubb is a first round pick. We're not shopping a first round pick for that kind of guy who needs to get paid next year or this offseason. We're not paying for Bradley Chubb. I'm not worried about that. But an active move is what I wanted. I wanted I am as a fan tired of being involved in all the trade talks. We tried. I'm tired of it. I don't want to see it anymore. I want to see us do something when there is a problem. The issue that we've come to is that we set something up in the offseason, and then there's some problems here and there, and then we go, we'll figure it out next offseason. And then by the time we get to the next offseason, either A, we don't fix it, like the special teams, Or B, we fix it and something else comes up, and then we go, we'll fix that in the offseason. And that's one of the reasons why we can never win a fucking Super Bowl, is because we have a problem and then we never fix it. We wait till the offseason and something else comes up, because how football works. And I'm just, like, as a fan, kind of tired of it. Like, I'm not going to stop being a fan. I am a Packer fan. I will not be, like, I have a share in the team. I have a bunch of jerseys. I've got a bunch of clothes. I've got a bunch of merch. I've got so much stuff. I'm not going to stop being a Packers fan. I'm not a bandwagon guy. But I need us to do something. I heard Quentin Nelson might have been a possibility. Do they want a first round pick for Quentin Nelson? I don't. Is that it? I don't know. I don't know what the price is for Quentin Nelson. Because honestly, if it's a first round pick, I give them that first round pick for Quentin goddamn Nelson. He's amazing. I don't know if he was worth. I don't know if he was going for a first. I know, like, Trent Williams or somebody went for a bunch of picks a while ago, so I'm not entirely sure. But if Quentin Nelson was on the market and available for, like, a first round pick, fuck it, like a first and a second, dude. Like, he is the best guard in football. And people undervalue offensive line. Again, Tom Rossi's talking about it. Is the offensive line is where the game starts. The game starts at the line. The first thing that happens in every play is the defensive line hits the offensive line. And that affects the entirety of the play, regardless if it's a run or a pass. Everything is immediately affected because the person who has the ball is in front of the offensive line and they have to deal with whatever happens next. And if we can have a line that consists of David Bakhtiari, Quentin Nelson, and Elton Jenkins at guard, not at tackle, then we are in such a good shape. Imagine that A.J. Dillon just pounding down the middle there. It's insane, and we didn't do anything. And, like, even, let's talk on the complete other side of it. On if we're like, you know what, man, it's not it. We're done. Like, it's people who are like, screw it, I didn't want us getting. Then sell. Then sell somebody. We don't need these guys then. If we are in a situation where we're not confident in this team, or we're not going to double down on this team, then cash out. Cash out of it. Trade fucking Bakhtiari. I love Bakhtiari, man. Trade his ass, dude. Do something. It's just, we either buy, like we are right at the point where we either need to buy or we need to sell. Like, we can't do nothing and be successful in anything. If we sell, then we're prepping for the future. If we buy, we're trying to win now. If we do neither, we're doing neither. Because, like, first round picks don't hit a lot of the time. Are you gonna get guys like Jair Alexander sometimes, like Rashawn Gary sometimes, like Aaron Rodgers sometimes? Yes. That's why you don't trade all of them. I'm not entirely on the fuck them picks train. But man, if you gotta throw some at a guy, if you gotta toss a pick at a guy to get somebody who we know is good. Christian McCaffrey obviously is injured. Like, I'm not saying we trade for Christian McCaffrey. To be clear, I don't think we should do that. I don't think we should have considered it. I'm not worried about it. But he didn't go for a first. There was not a first round pick in that trade. Like, everything that like in at least in the NFL, nothing is as expensive as it seems. Unless it's like an integral guy, we're not getting like Justin Jefferson. But, like, if a person is not a integral piece to a team, they go for less than you think. And I don't see why we don't just make a move, and it's sad. And that's about all I got. I'm just kind of sad about it. So maybe we'll get better, and maybe I'll come back in February and go, man, I had no idea, and we win the goddamn Super Bowl. Because it's not impossible It's just now, like, rather than it, like, us having a very legitimate shot, a lot needs to go right for us to, like, be in the conversation. So, yeah. Trade deadline was wild, though, I'm gonna be honest. It was just sad being a Packer fan, watching everything go by and not seeing hashtag or, like, at Packers once, you know? So, yeah. Hopefully your team got something out of it. Yeah, I think I forgot, or I don't know if I forgot, but in the first video that I made on this channel, I talked about the teams that I like was gonna root for this year, and I brought up either the Bills or the Eagles, in which, in fairness, those are the top two teams this year. So look at me being smart. In fairness, it's the Bills. We all kind of knew. But also, after like week 2, I was like, bro, it's the Dolphins. It's the Dolphins. Because they're so far. I will buy Jalen Waddle jersey. I'm gonna buy a Waddle jersey. Love that guy. His name is Waddle. Did you know that? His name is Jalen Waddle, which is great. All right. Bye-bye.